Well, hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending where you're tuning in from. My name is Steph, also known as Coach Steph B, and I'm going to be with you for the next 40 minutes or so to talk about mindful eating and intuitive eating. I'm going to teach you today to understand how you can tap into your overall mindful powers and natural instinct to really tune in a little deeper into your own body so that you can make the right food choices, so that you know when it's right for you to have that chocolate cake or when it's actually right for you to have a little more veggies, right? It's not about depriving yourself. It's not about being stuck to these like crazy fad diets. It's about really understanding what your body needs. Because let me tell you, yes, sometimes your body does need that chocolate cake or that glass of wine or that pizza. But what is key is understanding when it does need it and when it doesn't need it. So I'm just going to give a few more seconds or a few more minutes maybe to give a chance to everyone else to join. There were quite a few sign-ups, so we'll let everybody tune in and then we'll get started. Meanwhile, I will open on a separate screen here the Facebook page so I can see comments, right? In here. How are we all doing this morning? You know what I'd love right now is if you can tell me where you are tuning in from. I am in Manhattan, New York City. And I would love to know. Hey, Susie. And yes, of course, a huge thank you to Susie for having me here today. I love to sit cross-legged, so you'll often see me like lift myself up and switch my legs around. That's what I do. Okie dokie. Right, we're here. All right, we'll just give it a few more minutes. Isn't it weird when you see yourself on two screens at the same time? You know, I teach daily low impact workouts as well. And when I'm teaching, I've got two cameras with two screens, right? Because I have for my people who are joining me live and then for those who do replays. And it's hilarious because one camera mirrors me and the other one flips me around. And sometimes I'm like, oh, wait a minute, the left, the right, which like I know where my left and right is, but is that going to be the same for those who are on the live or the replay? So we've been doing this for a year and we're still unclear on what we're doing, right? How fun. Okie dokie, I'll give it a couple more seconds and then we'll get started because I do have quite a lot of things I want to share with you today. Okie dokie. Well, let's begin with the intro. So my name is Steph, Coach Steph B. I'm half British, half French. I was born in the UK in the Northwest in Manchester. I grew up in France in the Southeast, in Grenoble, in the Alps. And I was brought up by two completely opposing cultures, being French and British. To not much surprise, my parents divorced. That didn't really work out for them, did it? So I kind of grew up between both countries and obviously we were in the Alps. So I, always led a very active life. As part of the activities that I did, as well as the winter ones, which were skiing and snowboarding, I was also a classical ballet dancer. And I danced for about, I want to say 15 years. And unfortunately, whilst ballet brought me a lot of very great positives, it also led me to having extreme poor body image issues, right? Like a lot of young girls, and particularly when you're in disciplines of gymnastics and dancing, there is a huge demand on your body. You're supposed to be a certain shape, a certain size, look a certain way, etc. And I felt the pressure, and at the age of 8, I developed bulimia. And I hid it very well for 27 years from all my family and my friends. And that really led me into having a lot of trauma. I was constantly binge eating and starving myself. And I mean, it was really horrific when I look back and I think, how the hell did I manage to live like this? I don't know. But anyhow, in 2012, at the age of 35, after having a breakup, losing my job, breaking yet again some bones in my body, I really decided to think it was time to change. And I'd been in the fitness world for a long time, but I also had a corporate job. I decided it was time to quit the corporate job, that it was time to throw myself full time into fitness, but in changing the way fitness was. Because also as a fitness instructor, you know, we used to have a lot of pressure in having to, oh, you got to have just your protein shake. You got to be like this. You got to have the six pack. You got to that. Let me tell you, I got rolls and I love my rolls, right? And no one's going to force me to have a six pack. Nah, no way, no more. But back then, I used to think that was the norm. So I would over-exercise, under-eat, and I used to use exercise as torture as opposed to using exercise as a way of nurturing my body. I used to really have a bad relationship with exercise, with food, with my body, and with my mind. And so 2012, at the age of 35, said, this is it. Something has to change. I was living in Singapore at the time, and I really turned my life around. I started working with naturopaths. I signed up for some courses to specialize in nutrition, in female hormones, in understanding stress, understanding the nervous system, and really getting a much deeper understanding in the connection between the mind and the body, right? And then understanding also our overall perception of self, how we think others perceive us, and how how we kind of fit into society. So really started having a look at a very holistic approach to life in general, and then obviously to fitness, to wellness, and working with women. So I'm here today to talk to you about mindful eating and intuitive eating. Let me ask you this. How often have you had lunch, breakfast or dinner, and then within either 5 minutes to maybe the following hour gone, oh my God, I'm feeling so bloated. I don't understand why. Drop a 1 if you've ever felt bloated after a meal, or at the end of the day, you finish your day and you're like, why do I look 5 months pregnant when, I'm alone? I mean, I'm married. I have a husband and I have 2 dogs, but there's no reason why I should feel pregnant at 5 p.m. So anyhow, how many of you has it happened? Drop a 1 in the comments if you've ever felt like that. Let's see. Okay. So how often have you how often have you also gone, I really want to eat, I'm hungry, piled your plate with some food, gone, I've got this thing to do for work, sat in front of your computer with your plate. 2 hours later, someone says to you, hey, what'd you have for lunch today? And you can't remember. Put a 2 in the comments if that's ever happened to you. You can't remember for your life what you had for lunch or dinner the night before. Could that be because you're eating mindlessly? All right. So with no further ado, let's dive into our session today. Here we go. So I'm the founder and owner of my business called Be Fit, Be Fab, and I created a holistic lifestyle method and also a FitFab workouts club, which I'm happy to talk to you more about some other day, but that's not what we're here for. I help women over 40 who are entrepreneurs, C-suite executives, business women, and in general, women that are actually like really hungry to succeed in their career, in whatever they do in life, but that also feel super stressed and therefore suffer from mental, physical, emotional stress, from work-life balance issues, feel drained, fatigued, fed up. And so my whole method of approach when I coach either a unique individual, a unique woman, or a group of women, it's all around mindful living and joyful living. So what I do is I bring together mindset and nutrition and movement. right? And so the movement I bring in is going to be all low impact. It's around relaxation. It's around stretching. It's around restoring the body. It's around meditating. I don't really teach workouts. I teach more Zen outs, to be honest. I provide lifestyle support to find balance and fulfillment between work, life, and workout. And I also, of course, work heavily on the nutrition side of things in teaching you how to really know which foods are going to nourish you. And then lastly, I have also a degree in wine. So, wellness doesn't mean wineless. So if you need some wine tips, I'm always there for you. Let me just come out of here a second to remove the comment here. I don't know how to do that. There we go. Sorry about that. All right. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my mission. I'm going to talk to you about our program. I'm going to challenge you to change how you eat and nourish yourself. And then I don't know why I put this 5-day overview in day one here. All right, so my mission is to empower women just like you, just like me, to connect and reconnect with ourselves. My mission is to swap stress for bliss, to let go and release mental, physical, and emotional tension, and to fall in love with your body once and for all. You know, the problem in the society we live in is there's a huge pressure on women's bodies, right? And we also have so many caps to wear. So we've got to be the wife, the mother, the daughter, the friend, the sister, you know, you name it, the employee, the business owner. You know, we hold so many caps. And we think we've got it all together. We're doing it all. We're like, yeah, I'm multitasking, doing everything, until suddenly we hit our 40s and everything falls apart, right? Work, life, workout, housework, all of this to do, so little time. We wake up one morning, we're like, seriously, I don't even know who I am anymore. We feel that we've fallen out of balance and we're just utterly confused in who am I, what do I do, what do I need, you know, oh, okay, I'm feeling a little bit, you know, low energy, I'm just gonna eat this or drink that, and usually in 3 days I'm fine, and boom, it's not working. Damn, I've put on like 10 pounds over the past season. Normally in 2 weeks I just do this, I do that, and I'm good. Boom, it's not working, right? Because our body's changed. We start developing anxiety, self-doubt, we stress even more, we feel therefore even more exhausted and worn out because hello, stress draining the adrenals. We start looking to food and booze that become comfort, but then they also become our worst enemies, so our relationship to food gets all whacked up. Of course, through not making necessarily the right food choices and feeling super stressed, we get bloated, we feel uncomfortable in our own skin, our hormones are all over the place. We start developing this mental and emotional tension, our brain becomes foggy, we start feeling as if we've got no more clarity. Workouts that used to work don't work anymore, they leave us feeling drained and worn out. We have shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain at the end of the day, which we always thought was like, this is an old person's problem. And in general, we sometimes go through these phases of feeling just blah, oh my God, nothing feels right. It's okay. I'm just going to continue. Well, no, there is a solution to all this. The solution is just to press pause for a second and reconnect to your core, reconnect to your soul, your spirit, your mind, your heart, your body. We can rewire our brain, right? We can develop a new mindset that will favor conscious decisions and attract what we desire in life, but also what we desire in terms of our feeling and how we're connected to our own body. A key solution is truly to ditch their diet mentality and to forget about, oh, I need to diet, I need to go on a diet, I'm going to try this new diet. No, let's just forget about that. The key is also to weave in movement that is going to energize and elevate our mood, right? Because the reality is, if your mood is elevated and if you're developing the right amount of oxytocin and serotonin, you're going to feel good. You're going to feel happier. And therefore, everything is going to come together, right? Everything then becomes aligned, right? And we can therefore learn to balance our life with compassion and alignment, right? You know, much like Susie teaches us to align our business with our purpose, with our soul, it's really important to align the way we live and balance the way we live to who we are at our core. So yes, we can achieve balance, we can achieve alignment, we can achieve fulfillment, right? We can do this through mindset by rebuilding confidence, self-love, self-esteem. We can do this through nutrition, ditching the diet mentality, nourishing our soul, fueling our body. And we can do this through, like I just said, movement as a form of nurture and not a form of torture. Oh my God, if I hear another person tell me, yeah, let's do a workout to, you know, feel the burn and all of this, fine, it's okay to feel a little bit of muscle burn, but I don't want to do a workout that's going to make me feel like somebody's whipping my ass. No, thank you. I want to do a workout where I feel like somebody's giving me a hug, right? I want to feel like I'm being wrapped up in love and sexiness and not in this like torture whipping state. So the method I use enables women to focus on their success by enabling them to develop the mind of a yogi, the heart of a runner, the body of a dancer, so you can live with grace and with joy. You can master self-efficacy when it comes to your well-being, self-care, and you can live a really healthy lifestyle through simple, clean eating, daily fitness, but fitness I'm not asking you to step up and down a step. Like 7 minutes of a nice, easy stretching can do a world of a difference. And obviously, wherever you are in the world, we can always connect. So wait a second, guys, there's a problem here. This is not my, what am I doing? There we go. Sorry, there's some little slide stuck itself there. All right, so are you ready to dive in with me? Today's workshop, I'm going to challenge you to consider the following. What is your current relationship to food? How often are you truly tuned in when it comes to eating? Do you know how to recognize the signs of hunger and fullness? And which foods are associated with which state of mind? So if you have a pen and paper, grab your pen and paper and just jot down these 4 little bullet points, or take a picture with your phone, because these are things I really want you to start thinking about, right? I'm going to invite you to become more mindful, to be more attentive to your thoughts, to pay attention to your overall well-being when you are considering your food choices and options. Right? So whether you're at the supermarket, whether you're preparing dinner, whether you're sitting at the restaurant ordering food, these are the things I'm going to invite you to do. Right? So all of you here are pretty clear with what mindfulness is. You know, it is the mental process that brings attention and awareness to what you are living in this particular moment. Mindful meditation is the process that helps us focus on attention. Mindful movement is the process that enables us to focus on our movement, right? And so mindful eating is the process that's going to invite you to focus on what you are eating. Like everything else with mindful eating, you want to start with breathing, right? Taking 3 deep breaths in and out before you think about what you want to have to eat, and just tune in and go, how hungry am I feeling? What exactly do I feel like eating? That's the first step, right? So there's no one size fits all for this, right? Everyone is going to be different, but it's really important for you to take a moment and breathe. So I'm going to invite you right now to take a moment and breathe together. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to put both your hands on your belly, just around your belly button. You're going to have the thumbs pointing up towards your solar plexus and the rest of your fingers pointing down. So you're creating like a little diamond shape around your belly button, right? Right from here, I want you to close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths into your hands, right? So let's inhale and exhale. And again, inhale and exhale. Last one, inhale deeply and hold here. Feel the skin of your belly against your palms and slowly exhale. Right? And just take a moment here and write down how your belly feels, how your stomach feels. How do you feel hungry? Do you feel full? Just write down how that feels. So let's talk about food. Mindful eating is a type of awareness you have during the moment you are eating food. So similar to other forms of mindfulness, you enter a place of non-judgment, and instead you start appreciating the current moment from what you are eating and whether you are enjoying it, to details like the taste and the temperature of your food. So what this means is that you take a moment to really tune in and think about how it feels, right? So you take a look at your plate. You take a moment to pay attention to your plate, looking down, what is on my plate, taking my fork, spooning up some food, putting it in my mouth, and then thinking as you are eating, how does this feel? What does it taste like? What are the sensations? And really take a moment to appreciate and tuning in with what's happening without any judgment. It is, yes, a type of mindfulness that uses similar principles, but the difference is you are really tuning in to exactly that moment of eating. It's a multi-sensory experience, right? Because what we eat has a taste, has a smell, it looks, it has an appearance, and it has texture, right? So you're really getting all your senses together, and it has a sound, right? Think about the sound when you're chewing, whether it's crunchy, whether it's soft, whether it's, so think about that. Really dive into all those senses. Why is this so beneficial? Because you are going to be able to, in doing so, in being more attentive and eating more mindfully, you'll be able to heal your relationship with food, right? So first of all, when I say heal your relationship with food, it's making peace, with food, but also it can be about if there are certain types of food that you don't like, but they are really good for you. It's an opportunity for you to actually, make peace and heal your relationship with that particular food. I had a client who said to me, there is no way I can eat kale, right? No way. She's like, I just refuse to eat kale. I don't like it. Don't like what it looks like. Okay, fine. Let's just try this. So I got her to give her kale a massage with a little bit of olive oil, right? I said, I want you to try this. So we did it together over one of our private one-on-one sessions. I got her to buy some kale. And I said, what I want you to do, you're going to rinse your kale, right? And then you're going to just tear it up into loads of little pieces in a salad bowl, right? And then I said, now you're going to get some olive oil, and you're going to put some olive oil, a little bit on a tablespoon of olive oil on the leaves, and then take a teaspoon to put in the palm of your hands, rub your hands together, and then put your hands into the bowl and start massaging the kale with the olive oil. Now, if you've ever massaged olive oil into kale, it completely changes the texture of the kale. that kind of frizzy, rough leaf of the kale becomes really soft and silky and smooth as you massage it. And then from there, I said to her, right, now how did that feel? You know, what does it smell like, etc. And then I got her to add a little pinch of salt. So let's add a bit of salt, right? Let's add a little bit of lemon. By the end of it, she said, Steph, I can't wait to actually eat this. It looks really good now, right? And what we'd done is we'd really swapped around the overall experience of preparing food into something really mindful and multisensory, right? And that really helped her heal her relationship with kale. Mindful eating helps you to eat slower. So I come from a family where if, you know, although it was just my parents, myself, but my broader family is bigger, everyone's like super tall. I'm the only midget in there. And when you sit down and have dinner, it's like it's a war, right? It's you got to put as much food as you can on your plate. You've got to eat as fast as possible if you want to have seconds. And so for me, I used to have a massive problem in eating fast. Mindful eating has really helped me to learn how to eat slower. It's really take your time, right? Eating is it's a vital necessity, but it's also something that's extremely artistic. It can be quite beautiful. It's very nurturing. It's a feel-good moment, you know, and we are so lucky to actually have food in our fridge and food on our table and have access to an abundance of food that it you know, we should really take the time to appreciate it and express gratitude towards our food. It enables us to have a better understanding of hunger and fullness, and then also be clear on food that satisfy and nourish you and make you feel good, and those that don't, right? Going back to my initial question, have you ever had a meal and finished your meal and gone, it feels so bloated, right? Well, it's a good time to tune into what you were eating. And sometimes you go, I can't even remember why, right? So other benefits of mindful eating. It can change your relationship with food. You can put a stop to emotional eating. You become familiar with your own fullness cues, and it helps improve your digestion, right? Because you take your time to tune in and you're becoming more attentive to what you're eating, to how you're feeling overall, you are then able to say, you know what, I'm okay now. I've had enough to eat. I'm full. And therefore it avoids that moment of overeating and feeling so bloated afterwards. Why this helps with emotional eating? Well, so you eat a little slower and you can tell when you're full. It helps you to develop coping skills, right? You have a better understanding of your physical hunger versus your emotional hunger. Because if you take a moment and take those 3 breaths, right? When you're sitting there in front of your computer working on your project, your next program, your next course, and you're suddenly feeling super stressed or, you know, you have that kind of procrastination moment. I know I need to do this, but really don't want to. And you stand up, you walk mindlessly to the fridge. You open the fridge, you know, you've done that. We've all done that, right? Opening the fridge, closing it, and then eventually we find something, we eat it. And then 2 hours later, we feel crap and we totally regret eating that. Well, that's totally emotional eating, right? Because the likelihood we didn't eat because we were hungry, we ate because we were stressed out. So that's one of them. It can help with weight loss. Now, just want you to know, mindful eating is not meant to be a weight loss tool. It's more a weight management tool, right? Because the reality is there are people who actually don't eat enough, don't eat to their full hunger and satisfaction because they are so stressed. And so mindful eating is really learning how to eat so that it corresponds to your body, your needs. Right. So a lot of what people have said to me after putting mindful eating into practice is that actually they've distinctively reduced emotional eating, and you begin to enjoy more nutritious food, right? You begin to enjoy foods that are actually good for you, right? So going back to my kale lady, she now has kale almost every other day and she keeps saying, oh, I found another recipe, or I've got this, or I've got that, or can you send me more recipes using kale? Because she's realized that actually it's really helped her with her digestive issues. It's really helped her with her iron intake, and that bad relationship she used to have with kale, and that she used to just eat one of those ready-made salads at the supermarket that were, quite frankly, just completely doused with dressing, and weren't nutritious at all, weren't serving her purpose and her body's needs. She's now completely enjoying that because we brought in this mindful eating aspect. It can help improve your relationship with food in general. And you get, like I mentioned before, all your senses are activated. It's a multi-sensory experience. You also start to feel less guilt and shame, right? And you find the foods that fit, the foods that you can enjoy. And you start really developing your own nutrition framework, right? And that's what I love to teach, is really teaching you how to figure out what type of food really works for you, right? We're all different, we're all unique. I have loads of allergies. There are things that are extremely healthy that I can't eat because, they make me quite ill, and that's okay. And I live with that. And my husband, on the flip side, absolutely adores those foods, and it's fine. I know that those foods are not good for me. I'm at peace with that. I think that's the beauty of understanding yourself and really starting to become more intuitive with food is a great way to live really freely. So are you ready to take the first steps towards mindful eating, right? Here's my question to you. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed by starting to make a switch to becoming a mindful eater, here is where you can start with, right? So these are my takeaways for you. So get that pen and paper, write that down. Want you to choose one meal, right? Or at one specific time of the day to practice this. But start with one meal, right? I want you to see if you can turn off all the distractions and sit quietly with your meal. Now, granted, I live in New York. There's no such thing as sitting quietly. I have 2 dogs. The moment there's food on my table, they are sitting there staring at me, and they keep scratching my knees to get a little nugget, right? So it's not always easy. But what I'm going to ask you to do is to just tune into yourself. Just really dial up that multisensory experience, right? Look at your plate, look at what's on your fork before you put the food in your mouth. Look at it, right? I know we all have super busy lives, and I know that we sometimes don't have a choice, and we have to have our lunch or our breakfast in front of our computer, and that's fine. You know what? That is absolutely fine, as long as you are aware that you are eating your food in front of your computer, as long as you are just slowing down a little bit what you are doing, as long as you are checking your plate, looking at your plate and looking at your fork, right? And which is what I mean by letting your mind focus on enjoying your meal, right? So I'm going to give you, on the back of this session, I'm going to give you some little bonuses, and we'll talk about those later. So shifting your mindset with mindful eating. How to start shifting your mindset. You're going to slow down and enjoy the moment, right? So you're sitting at your computer, you got to have lunch, just slow down a little bit. Enjoy this moment. Now I want you to start flipping every negative thought into an accepting one, right? So for example, oh my God, I don't have enough time to sit down and eat because I have so much work to do. That's a little bit negative. Rather, oh my goodness, I am so lucky. I have an abundance of work and an abundance of food. How amazing is that? Just start flipping negative thoughts into positives, and also about yourself, don't say, oh, I'm going to eat this, but it's going to make me feel bad. No, I'm going to eat this so that I can nourish myself, right? Like I mentioned before, I want you to take some deep breaths before practicing mindfulness. So I want you to take some deep breaths before practicing mindful eating. Why should you track how and how much you eat? Now, food tracking is an interesting one, right? Because for some people, it can make them a little bit obsessed and controlling. But for others, it can help us really with understanding certain food issues, intolerances, and allergies. So it's a good way for you to, when you do, if you can pick one meal a day to start off with, start being a little bit more present with your meal and just write down how you felt, right? How you felt afterwards. And then maybe an hour later, if you feel something, write it down. This is going to help you become more aware of your eating habits and patterns. It's also going to enable you to see growth with your relationship with food and have a better understanding of the foods that work for you and don't. So here are some things for you to pay attention to whilst you are eating. And I've mentioned these before, but here's the list here. And you can take a screenshot if you want. Think about why you chose the food you did, right? Why did you prepare this? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What are the flavors associated? How hungry are you? And when did you start experiencing fullness? Do you feel happy and satisfied? How do you actually feel when you are full? Do you feel nourished? Or do you feel bloated and heavy? So try to define that. What foods don't feel the best? Have you managed to pin down the foods that actually don't necessarily make you feel the best after eating them? And are you learning to read your actual hunger signals? Now, the next question I often get with this is, does what you eat matter? Right, so if we go back to the previous slides, what foods don't feel the best, right? Does what you eat matter? Well, yes, I mean, what your choice of food is important. And of course, because in terms of nutrition and health, you want to make sure you're eating the right foods for your body. But for the purpose of mindful eating, what's more important right now in the beginning of this process is to understand your habits, your choices, and how food makes you feel, right? So from there, once you're more clear with how food makes you feel, how hungry are you, how satisfied you are, once you've done this for one meal, then you've done it for two, then for three, then you've done it over a certain period of time, you'll start to develop some intuitive eating skills, right? Because as you become more attentive to what you eat and how you feel, you will instinctively start to make conscious decisions for more healthy choices, right? So you'll start to be able to connect your conscious mind, which is your brain, right, to your instinctive brain, which is your gut, right? And once you're able to establish that connection between your brain and your gut, you will be able to make those intuitive eating decisions, right? And that's when you'll be able to say, yes, that chocolate cake and that glass of champagne are right for me right now. This is exactly what my body and my mind needs. And you won't feel all the side effects of it. But you'll also be able to say, no, you know what? Tonight, I just need to stick to a bowl of soup because this is exactly what my body needs right now. So you will be able to make those calls instinctively. You'll be able to tap into your intuition. But before doing that, it's important to start with mindful eating, right? And then you'll be able to naturally gravitate towards the food that truly nourish you, that make you feel good both inside and out. So here are some mindfulness changes that you can think about in terms of food, right? Even if you don't realize it, we all have certain judgments and preconceptions about food. Oh, this is not good for you. This has too much sugar. This is going to make me fat. This is going to this is going to that, okay? And these judgments can actually really damage your relationship with food, but also really damage your relationship with your own body and your own self. And with mindful eating, you're no longer judging what you eat. Like I said, you'll be able to have a burger or a pizza without saying, ooh, I'm being naughty, I'm having a burger and a pizza, right? Which is what society and media want you to think, but it's not true. There are moments when it's completely okay to do that, and there are moments when it's completely okay to just have salad. It's all about balance. It's all about knowing those foods that truly nourish you, right? The point is, it's not to tell yourself what you shouldn't eat, but instead acknowledge the foods that you should eat. Acknowledge why you're making this choice. Acknowledge why you feel like eating this food or that food, right? That's all it is. That's all it is. It's removing all judgment. It's becoming a lot more accepting, but it's also being really deeply connected and understanding what foods are good for you, what works, what doesn't, right? So in summary, today, I spoke about how we can reconnect with our core, our soul, our spirit, our mind, our heart and body, how we can rewire our brain, how we can develop a mindset that will favor conscious decisions, how we can ditch our diet mentality through mindful eating, and why certain movements and exercises are important to nourish, to energize and nurture your body, and the importance of balancing our life with compassion and alignment, right? Today, we specifically, so these are all the different things I teach. I teach awareness and mindfulness. I teach confidence, self-esteem, self-love. I teach mindful movement to nurture, bring about joy. I teach how to develop happiness through gratitude and forgiveness. And I teach a transformative alignment, right? And today I spoke to you a little bit about mindful eating to better nourish and fuel your body. So that kind of that module in one of the courses I teach, it is actually a lot bigger, but I wanted to keep it to, I know we're a bit short on time, so I wanted to keep it nice and sweet for you. So the next steps from today, right? I have a mindful eating guide for you, which has a couple of little recipes in it. So I will pop it in the comments. I do have to go quite soon, so I'll have to come back in here and pop it. So check back later. I want you to practice today what you learned, right? So that one meal, your next meal today, I want you to take a moment and really think about, being more mindful. Bring in, most of you ladies here in this group are already very, very high level in terms of mindfulness and awareness and meditation, right? So really want you to bring that skill of yours to your eating, to food, right? And then, of course, I'm going to invite you to join my R&R program and to book a complimentary call with me to have a chat about how I can help you really get deeper towards intuitive eating, right? So let me just tell you quickly about my R&R Reboot Rebalance program. It's a 7-day program that will help you rewire, reboot, rebalance, and feel great, right? So it's 7 days we take a deep dive into intuitive eating. I use chakra alignment to deeply connect your conscious mind, so your brain, to your intuitive mind, your gut. Sorry. You will align your body. You'll get better balance. The meal plan is all based around clean eating, so it's a good cleanse from toxins, and we focus on clean foods to nourish the body. So in this program, what you'll get a step-by-step success manual, a recipe guide with over 30 delicious, nutritious recipes. You'll get 2 suggested weekly meal plans. So one is a vegan option and the other one is omnivore. So you can use both, use just one, whichever you want. Daily support tools. So you'll get a daily support email, daily affirmations to set the vibe for the day, a food diary to deepen your knowledge on what truly fuels you. So really get deeper into the mindful eating aspect. Each day we focus on a different chakra, so that way we keep it nice and easy, right? And we use that and we understand which emotion is tied to that chakra, what type of foods nourish it, what type of food fuel it. So that's a really beautiful way to understand and to develop that intuitive eating skills. You get 7 guided meditations to support each of those days, 7 daily stretches, so they're about 7 minutes total each, to balance your body and align your body, and then to kick off and wrap up calls, one at the beginning and then one at the end. I've spoken about this before, but this is how you'll feel at the end of this program. You'll wake up every morning feeling fresh and energized. You'll feel joy throughout your entire being, and you'll start developing that feeling of freedom to live the dream life, or at least to start heading into the right direction, right? Because once we start making peace with our food, and once we start to really nourish ourselves so that it nourishes our soul, then everything kind of falls into place. We feel completely aligned and balanced, and we can give our full attention into going towards the life we dream. So here's some nice little testimonials I wanted to share with you. So this first one was from a recent client who is in her early 50s. Said, I used to feel constantly bloated and fatigued. In 7 days, I lost an inch on my waist, and I didn't even work out. I just did the 7-minute stretches. I feel incredible. My clothes fit so much better. This is a big change from any yo-yo dieting I've done over 8 years. It feels so good to have control of my health and my eating habits. I feel emotionally strong and stable. This other lady, I've completed this program twice for 2 weeks straight, because when you get the program, it's 7 days, but you can just keep doing it, over and over if you want. The biggest outcome for me was getting rid of the sugar cravings and the extreme stress doses I was getting. I used to crave sugar all the time. I think I'd eat it at every meal. Thanks to the tips in this program, I learned how to fill up on the right foods and drinks so that I wouldn't get these cravings as often. Thank you so much for changing my life. I am now at ease and at peace. Right? How good would that feel? This was the easiest wellness program I've ever done. What I love the most is that it isn't a diet, it's a lifestyle. And now that I have the knowledge to make healthy choices, I know I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. My husband even mentioned how delicious the food was, and the recipes are so easy. He even started cooking for me. So how cool is that, right? If you have a partner or a flatmate, or, all the recipes are like super detailed and very easy for anyone to do. So are you ready to level up and work with me? I would love, 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 love to hear about you. So I'm going to come back in the room. Here we go. So I'm here. So I hope you really enjoyed this. So I see a comment here. Sorry, I hadn't seen that before. Somehow they didn't appear on the other screen. Eating is a massive part of the Italian culture. It's how you spend evenings with the family. Yeah, so I'm French, and eating is a huge part of my culture as well, right? And what's important is because it can become very challenging in Latin cultures, right? When a meal drags on for a long time, you're sitting at the table and there's food and food and food, and you just got to keep on eating. You're very tempted to just keep on eating all the time. But the key, once you know yourself, once you've developed that mindful and that intuitive eating skill, you are able, A, you know that meal is going to last forever, and B, you're able to make those right decisions. You're able to say yes and say no. Ultimately, the goal is for you to be around the table and connect with other humans, right? So you always have the choice and ability to control your own portions and to know exactly, what works for you and what doesn't. So with that said, I'm just going to pop into the comments below the link to sign up to my program, because that one, this is the early bird, right? And the R&R early bird, the full price of that program. The value is $2,200 because there's so much work that's gone into this and you get so much value. But I am having a special offer in June, having it for $147. And for you guys, for Susie's group, because I love this group so much and I love Susie so much, it is going to be $77. So you get a $70 discount if you sign up today. So you'll see, I'll click here. There we go. And I will pop in the PDF file later on with the guide, with the notes from today, in case you didn't get a chance to note everything down. I've got a little guide for you. I thought I had a printed copy here with me. So I hope you really enjoyed this session. I hope you learned something. I'd love for you to type down in the comments here if you do feel that there was something you took away. Like I said, I've been working as an instructor for 23 years and then as a coach for now 8 years. And I would love to have the opportunity to work with you. There are loads of bonuses. I tend to overpromise and over deliver on my promise. So my business coach tells to me all the time, you're just giving too much. You're just giving, loads of takeaways. Amazing. Thank you. I'm so happy. But yeah, I really, really love that you join me. And like I said, pop here later. I really have to dash now. I have an appointment in like 5 minutes and my doggies are scratching over there. I think their water bowl is empty, so I have to go and tend to them. But I will pop back in this afternoon to put in the mindful eating guide, and you'll have all the links, and I'll pop in some extra details regarding the bonuses you get with the early bird for the R&R program. So it's 7 days to rebalance, retune, and it's all around like learning to develop that intuitive eating skill, right? So I'm super excited and thankful to have been here with you today. Mindful eating is honestly the secret sauce, the sizzle to making peace with your body, with life, with food in general, so you can really enjoy life and be more focused on all the other stuff you want to do and not have to worry and be like, yep, I can have pizza today and Chianti. That sounds like a great idea. I can have pizza and Chianti today and know this is what my body needs, really tuning into that gut. So again, remember, this is the position I was telling you at the beginning, that little diamond, and you put it right around your belly button here and take 3 deep breaths in and then out. Just before, like as you start heading towards your kitchen to make your dinner, or even if you're at the restaurant and you're not sure what to order, just do this a little bit. Invite your friends, invite the people around you to do it and teach them about mindful eating, right? And then you'll become the leader and the pioneer of mindful eating within your own community. So huge thank you so much for having me today. Thank you for tuning in with me. I went completely over time. I tend to get carried away. Absolutely. I'm so passionate talking about this topic. I could go on for hours. I look forward to getting you to meet you very soon. And please click on the link. Go check out the Rebalance and Reboot program. And I'm looking forward to getting to know you even more. And reach out if you have any questions. Add me as a friend. DM me. I'll pop in my my email just below. There we go. I've popped my email here. So if you want to drop me a line right now, if you have any questions, just please reach out. I'm always there for you to support you. And I'll be in touch very soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day or evening. Ciao.